Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar right here on your Boom Radio NG. I bid you a warm welcome to the bar today. Today promises to be a very interesting one, as we're going to be talking about quite a number of things, more like tracking a lot of issues. Sadly, there's a lot of conversation around insecurity in Nigeria today that we're going to be talking about. This insecurity has caused the president to cancel a few of his trips. The vice president in one of the states, other than Abuja, there's also a lot of conversation back and forth. So we're going to be talking a lot about that. There's a bit of politics, aftermath of all the drama with the PDP. We're going to be talking about that as well. There's sports. There's a couple of gist about sports actually. Today is the known CAF Awards, the very, very popular one. That and a lot of other things we're going to be talking about today at the bar. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show with us today. With me in the studio is Shola Rogers.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the Boom Bar.
Okay, so like I said earlier, I'm sure that a lot of people have probably heard of it, but if you do not know, there's been quite a bit of unfortunate news appearing around the country in the past couple of days. In my books, I would say those attacks are very, very coordinated. They're not as spontaneous, but this is just me being me. But anyway, this conversation has now caused a lot of talk online. But the truth is, at the moment, the president was supposed to travel today for a G20 trip in South Africa, and there's also an AU-EU summit in Angola. He is now said to have postponed the trip. Is he cancelling it? Is he postponing it? According to him, he's postponed it. We don't know if he will still be going, according to the statement from him personally. Also, there's the talks of because earlier there was also the incidents that happened in Kebbi with the girls that were abducted, also with the one that happened in Kwara as well. There's literally a live stream video of people getting attacked, and the governor of Kwara State had asked for more security agents in the state. According to the statement from the presidency, the president has obliged the governor with his request, and he has gotten that. He said that there's more deployment to Kwara State as we speak. So that is one of the major things that's happening. But the president, as we speak, is saying that he's cancelled his trips, and he's waiting for an in-depth report from the security chiefs on what is happening in Kebbi and Kwara State. Also, on that vein, it was said that he had also asked the vice president to go to Kebbi State to see what is happening there firsthand. Last we checked, the vice president was on his way to Kebbi State. So if I'm not wrong, he should be in Kebbi by now. There's now a lot of conversation, but before we even go through that conversation, I'm just giving updates. Also, there's updates about two of the girls that were abducted had escaped. Apparently, when security agencies were trying to look for these abducted girls, they had found two of them that had escaped from the kidnappers' den. However, they escaped, but these two girls are said to be safe now. Hopefully, the rest of them would be successfully gotten back and brought home safe.
Yeah, a whole lot to unpack there. Talking about the state of insecurity in Nigeria, it's strange how Dolupo used the word coordinated. It's strange how there are different things happening in different parts of Nigeria, and they seem and sound coordinated. And it's really very sad. Being a Nigerian is a tough ask at a period like this, where it's almost obvious that some decisions have been made as it concerns your country. So let's take a look at the Kebbi attack. There are talks of how there was a report by the DSS, I think, to the governor of the state and the officials there that there might be an attack. An attack was being planned. And it is reported by several people that the military was deployed, and it was after they left that this attack on the school happened. This is very, very sad, and you're wondering if this angle is true. Why did they even leave?
Why did they leave?
In the first place, since there was credible intelligence that something was about to go down.
From another angle to it, as the governor of the state, why was that school not shut down?
That's another angle. But the fact that it was not shut down and there was military presence for a purpose, did they get the all clear that, okay, don't worry, these guys have been stopped in their tracks? So I don't know why that happened. And like the report said, another angle is why didn't they even just shut down the school completely?
Shut down the school.
Picture if that school had been shut down now, there would be no talk of two girls escaping out of 25 that are arrested. We also forget to mention that an official of the school was actually murdered, and someone who's said to be someone that has several dependents of his family who probably never see this person again. Not even probably, never will see the person again. And maybe all of this would have been avoided if that angle was explored. But the reality we face also with that is that we do not have enough troops in Nigeria to start deploying to schools and
they are there permanently
everywhere.
I get
Nigeria had a safe schools plan. I think it's time to look into that thing again. It is time for the government of Nigeria, if they are sincere, to know that this is war. And the thing about war is that you must fight it to the end, no matter what happens. Regardless of all the insinuations and allegations of external forces fueling this crisis in Nigeria, regardless of all of that, it is time for us to really step up our game. 25 girls, 2 escaped, now 23. It's Chibok all over again. You're seeing all of those things, and it's so sad. And there are no excuses. The buck, just like the president had tweeted when he was in opposition, stops at the table of the president. And that's why I wonder why he thought it was okay to even leave Nigeria at a time like this. I understand the need for this summit, this AU-EU summit and the G20 thing, but you can delegate people, but you can't delegate the security angle of things because the buck stops at your table. So postponing, I would rather say you cancelled it, because that's the most sensitive thing to do and the most sensible thing to do. Nigeria is going through it. I'm not gonna lie. You can even hear it in my voice. I'm not gonna lie. We are going through it. Now, you mentioned Kwara too, right? The attack on the church and everything. Some people said it was a live stream. Nobody has found the stream online yet, but there was a video being made anyway when this attack happened. I saw about almost 6 minutes of it. I had to watch it. I saw how people heard the gunshot and how they panicked and how people tried to hide. Some tried to run, and some, I don't know, some criminals, terrorists, bandits, thieves came into the place, and they were picking up people's bags from the chairs, doing all sorts of things and attacking them physically, and all of that. Now it is said that one person was found dead inside the church, and another was found in a nearby bush, also fatally wounded. Then the vigilante in charge of the church had been injured, and they said he had been rushed to an hospital nearby. Let's be real with ourselves. The ability for these people to strike within that area shows that their camp is not that far.
also, even if their camp was far, there's something that I'd read. Sorry,
okay, no, go ahead.
That to add to what you said, is that apparently in that village or that settlement, there's not one police station there. As much as we want to say, oh yes, the buck stops at the president's table, but except we want to lie to ourselves, something as delicate as the security of the country everything cannot go through Abuja. The reason why sometimes there is a bit of respite when you go to bed at night is because there's a police station down the road. And now my question now remains, where is the local government chairman? I'm sure they will have the local government chairman there. The legislators, there's a legislator that is attached to that place. There is the councillors. You will even say that maybe the governor might not know. I will not put it as an excuse, but let's even start from there. What that means is that there is literally not one there's no level of security for those people, which makes it very easy for anybody to come in, do whatever it is you want to do and leave. At times, the presence of some level of security is what deters some people. But when you don't even have they know that there's not going to be any form of resistance. So what are we now doing? How is there a whole settlement and there's not one police station? It's ridiculous.
This is not an excuse, but I'm surprised that you're expecting a police station in a settlement when even some parts of the city still don't have police presence also. A nation of over 200 million people, as reported by several platforms and outlets, and major connections to 5, 6, 7 countries and several porous borders. A nation like that has a lot of work to do. And you start to wonder why at the beginning of this crisis with this criminals, the terrorists, why did Nigeria stop expanding its military? Why did they put an embargo on recruitment of military and empowering them and all of that? And again, it's not just about trying to buy weapons from only one particular country. It's about having a robust plan, understanding that it almost looks like, say, leader after leader, they didn't understand the gravity of what we're facing. Now, a lot of us are looking at it in isolation, but it's not only Nigeria, and that's what makes it bad. That Mali is grappling with it, Niger is grappling with it, Chad is grappling, Cameroon. A lot of countries in this axis are actually facing this threat. Mm-hmm. What makes Nigeria's own worse now is the special interest that some foreigners have taken, acting like they have not heard about all of these things before. Some countries that were part of Nigeria's training of its military for this purpose are all now acting like, there's new intel about a specific attack on a specific group or set or religious body. And that's what's going to make it worse. Not good. It's not going to solve any problems. It's not. However, I'm hoping that the military and the intelligence structure that Nigeria has would rally the troops and really go all out. It's difficult for guerrilla warfare. I understand it. If it was the old days where, this person has 10,000 troops and this one has 15,000, and you meet somewhere and you fight it out. Mm-hmm. It's understandable that somebody. But now, like I said, these guys have base camp and they have mobility. They have bikes, which they use on all terrains. In some instances, they even have taken over vehicles from the military or the tax forces, and they use this to cause their trouble. we cannot also rule out the fact that there are moles in the system.
Yeah.
That's also being
Another conversation,
stated.
yeah.
And I think one of the craziest things when they're talking about kinetic and non-kinetic approach to security is the idea of rehabilitating terrorists. I think whoever came up with that idea was high on something.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I don't agree with it.
I think whoever
If
came
you
up
are
with it
caught,
was.
why you not? The least you can do is sit in jail. That's the least you can do for them.
And they sit in jail, then there's a jailbreak. Remember, because the prisons too are also not up to par. So there has to be a total overhaul of Nigeria's system, and we're talking from prisons to the border patrol to the internal security by the police and the external by the military. And I know that the military are overstretched.
So there needs to be a lot more.
What happens to that recruitment that they were talking about? You know, maybe even get some of the retired people to come back into service
at this point
in time, especially the intelligent ones, the ones that worked in the intelligentsia. Let's bring them back. Let's look for a robust plan. And remember that the former chief of I think it was former chief of army staff that was talking about building walls.
Maybe it's time to actually start building walls.
Let's look at several ways to deter and control and contain.
This thing is ridiculous, but maybe it's time to actually start building walls with our borders. It's proper walls. So at least, because now, like you said, there's a lot. Our borders are so porous. There's so much going in and out, and it's really, really sad. It's really sad that we are at this point.
And we must invest in technology.
For some certain people are in some certain places, just because, it almost seems like you just want to make a point.
Yeah, but that's why it's looking like coordinated and all of that. And some people will not stop at anything to achieve their
stupid aims. But I really, really hope that the Nigerian system, the Nigerian security system actually get this done. I really hope that these girls are being brought back as soon as possible. Hopefully, I'm really praying that in less than 24 hours we hear really, really good news that these girls are gotten back from these despicable people. Anyway, before we leave that matter,
again, before you even move on, how are these criminals able to post videos on social media? Are they able to share, the internet, and we can't use that means to track them? Food for thought. I'm bothered.
Okay, so now there's been a conversation in the past 2 days about Miss Nicki Minaj, and she now had a statement at UN's event, and she really had a speech about Nigeria's alleged Christian genocide. And this speech, or the announcement of the speech before, and the speech itself seems to have gotten a lot of conversation back and forth, and there's a lot. Like I said, one of the conversation is that Nigeria, on its own part, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said, okay, if someone was going to talk about Nigeria, the least you can do is invite Nigeria to also have something to say about that conversation. That Nigeria was not invited to that particular event. That's one side to it. Another side to it is a lot was saying that there's more people, and then she talking about it is going to drive the conversation better. Another conversation, and some of these conversations is even coming from the US, and saying that she's being used by the US president to drive in his agenda, and how someone like her is being used by the president. There's also conversation, which I've seen a lot also in Nigeria, about why would someone like Nicki Minaj, what does she have to talk about Christians in Nigeria, or Christians as a whole?
There's an entire playbook that has been used all the time. Even in the movies, the so-called American movies, they show you these things, It's hiding in plain sight. So for you to justify an impending military action, which I feel that they have signed off on somehow, somewhere. The powers that be, with or without the Congress, have made up their mind to attack Nigeria. This is what I believe. And I want to be wrong. I want to be very wrong. So what they need is people like Nicki Minaj, who they will say, oh, you see, she's black, she's neutral, she has a large followership, she's just concerned. Let's speak about Nicki's concern. Nicki is worried that Christians are being killed in Nigeria. I am worried too. I am bothered. But Nicki, I'm also bothered about the gun deaths in America. I don't hear you talk about it. Nicki, statistically, more churches have been attacked in America than in Nigeria. Statistically, and this is why it hurts that we say that there's a Christian. Are Christians being killed? Yes. Are they being targeted? Yes. But Muslims are being killed too. Non-religious people are also being killed in Nigeria. Nigeria is too complex for you to just paint it with one brush just because you have an agenda. Nicki, what about the Muslim lives that have been lost? The mothers and the children and even the innocent men. They don't matter to you, right? You just need to push an agenda of Christian genocide. Shows that you are not so intelligent, as in all of that thing. You are singing bees in the trap. You are the bee in the trap, actually. Because if you can come out and pick Christian genocide in Nigeria, what about the Christians in South Sudan and Sudan? What about the Christians in other parts of the world? They don't concern you? The Christians in your country, America. Churches are attacked in America. Young and old are being killed in your country. And it's Nigeria's Christians that you now suddenly like. And you know you're not a Christian. You can't even come out to claim you're a Christian.
Anyway,
you know? So, before Doluko moves me on, I've come to the conclusion, because I remember when a young lady was brought to testify about some atrocities in Southeast Asia, in Qatar and all those places. I think it was Yemen and another country. A young lady was brought into Iraq also to talk about what happened in one hospital. Then they went to those countries. Then they attacked those countries. And guess what happened? Nothing of such had happened. They were all made up. And guess what? A country like Syria, where a man was declared wanted, is now being welcomed in the White House? Really? And that's what Nicki supports. You know what happened to her when she was thanking Donald Trump? She lost over 100,000 followers immediately. But I don't think it's enough, because if you all really look at what she's being used for and what she's doing, she doesn't deserve to even have one follower.
Anyway, we need to move on from that. But good luck at this point, I think good luck to anybody that wants to say whatever it is they want to say. It's obvious it's an agenda. I think I even saw a statement, a report, I think it was on Guardian, where it was said that the United States Department of Justice had found out that there's a lot of propaganda coming from pro-Biafra groups. So basically,
Piers Morgan Uncensored. Are you moving completely? Is it on your list?
Yes. No, I need to move.
Is it on your list?
No, it's not. So just.
So Piers Morgan Uncensored had Nigeria's foreign affairs minister.
Yeah.
And some Canadian politician, a failed politician. She was a politician for 7 years, kicked out of the caucus that she was part of because of this bad behavior that she has, and she was attacking the man, and of course the man gave it back to her. Although even Tuga dropped some figures, I don't know where he got it from. But where I was going with this is, I've seen videos of that same lady talking about Biafra and how Biafra needs to become a country. So it's clear, it is very clear that the lobbyists that were paid and all of these pro-Biafra people are now using the plight of the middle belt of Nigeria to propel the Biafran agenda in Nigeria. And I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. If the people in the Southeast really want to leave Nigeria, they don't need all of this. The first thing, everybody relocates back home. Second thing, pressurize all your politicians to create a platform that makes the government listen to them. See the way they are fighting for Nnamdi Kanu now. They want him freed. That there should be a political solution to a criminal case. Unprecedented in the history of Nigeria. If this is what the Igbo nation wants, I really think it's not hard. But the first thing is you have to be practical about it. And you must pressurize your elite to look for a way that the constitution will recognize what they want to do and let there be an amicable separation. People who want to leave should leave. Nobody should, call Nigeria a bad name because you want to achieve your own motives. There's nothing wrong with self-determination. I don't have a problem with it. Honestly, don't. But trying to make Nigeria burn so you can achieve it, that's where the problem is.
Okay, so like I said, let's move on from that quickly. Still talking about from the president. The president's table, there's been reports that the president is set to name ambassadors after a 2-year freeze on that. The president has not named an ambassador since he became president, and they're saying that these nominees have now been cleared by the DSS, and he's set to name those names very, very soon.
Yeah, this is one of the things that people have been complaining about. That how would you go 2 years without, representation in most countries of the world? And obviously now they say that it had a lot to do with funding, as against just naming people. Of course, they have to be screened and all of that. It doesn't take 2 years to screen them. So, but I think their major excuse was about funding. So what I'm hearing now is that for big nations like the US, the UK, and all those, there will be ambassadors. Then the rest of West Africa also. But many countries will still be without representation, that they are going to do it in phases and batches and all of that. I think it's something that should have happened a long time ago. And I know there were rumors of some names on that list, the Omokeris of this world and co. Let's see how it plays.
Let's definitely see how it plays. I just hope that again the DSS does their job well, and then not after you've cleared somebody, they will not be hearing later that something happened to somebody. Anyway, moving on from that, also quickly, the NCAA, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, has now said that they had fined Qatar Airways 5 million naira for consumer protection violations. They're saying that a few weeks ago there's been complaints of how Nigerians were treated on Qatar Airways. They did their findings, and apparently some of those allegations were true.
I remember that story from about 2 weeks ago or so, or 3 weeks ago. So if the fine has now finally been imposed, I think it's a good thing. And it's not even about the money. It's about the experience that people have and how it should stop. A lot of these people, when they see that there's no regulation, they're just going to be mistreating their Nigerian and even other nationals any way they want. Like a lot of things that I have observed, for instance, connecting flights. Maybe like you're flying from Nigeria to one country that has a major airline, then from there to another country, and your stopover is in the owner country. You find that most times when you get to that other country, they bring a better plane. I don't know, maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I've experienced it maybe once or twice. Like the plane that you use from here, then you get to the other side. And,
really?
Yeah, something I've observed.
Oh.
So you get, amongst other things. So, but with this new NCAA and FAN and the way they are running aviation in Nigeria, things have really changed, and I think
there's a little bit more accountability.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, on that matter, yes, I think there's a bit more accountability. Anyway, moving on from that, the Adamawa State Police Command has announced that they had arrested a 39-year-old man for allegedly trafficking young girls from the state to Lagos State for onward trafficking to Ghana for sexual exploitation. Wow.
This thing is becoming like very rampant now. On Monday we're talking about the guy from Benue.
But is it really rampant, or that there's
maybe
And
just
maybe
being
the
reported now.
security is just getting better and people are getting caught.
It could be both, actually. It could be that for years they've been doing it and they were not getting caught, so now they are now doing more and now they are getting caught because the systems have changed. There's a stricter security system and all of that. You know how it is with some of these criminals now. They always have insiders. They have people that they settle, so they look the other way.
It's horrible, but kudos to the fact that at least, when I hear this news, the first thing that pops in my head is that one person is removed. Means that they're
coming until they get through. So hopefully, with this girl story, it's not going to be like one bad cycle, like people are just coming, they are saved, then they are,
and then anyway
trafficked again.
Moving on from that quickly, going a bit to the Senate, where sadly an Enugu state governor, senator,
Enugu North
Senator Okey Ezea has passed away in the UK during a medical treatment. Yeah,
it was of the Labour Party and all of that, and sadly, of course, is gone. Now, for his family, this is a funny thing about life. For his family, now they'll be going through it, the pains of losing a loved one. But my mind can't stop wondering towards people who will be lobbying right now as we speak.
Oh yeah, there's now going to be by-elections now.
Already within his party, outside his party, a lot of people already that they want to replace him. It's funny how life just keeps going on regardless. May his soul rest in peace, though.
Yeah. So the Senate is what do I say? Maybe a little bit in mourning. But anyway, moving on from that, let's move on to a bit of politics quickly. First things first. I think that is official now that we know that the TARABA Governor is going to the APC. His whole assembly has moved to the APC. Mm-hmm. He was not at the PDP convention.
The PDP
convention in Ibadan. The 2-day PDP convention in Ibadan. However, even most governors were not there. In fact, the one that shocked me the most was a dancing governor. Because at least...
I don't know. Is there a dancing governor?
Are you living under a rock?
I don't know. Who is that?
Okay.
What's his name?
Figure it out. Anyway, the funny thing is that you would, at least, as much as they do not have a lot of governors, you think that the governors there would, I think other than the host governor, I think there was only one governor or two governors. There were two other governors there out of, I think, 7 or 8 or something. Anyway, this TARABA governor is supposed to be one of the governors, but it's not a kept secret anymore that he's going to the APC. However, it's now said that he's going to postpone his defection to the APC because of the kidnapping that happened in Kebbi State. And my question is, why is there a fanfare around it? You have already moved now. We know that you have already moved. Why do you want to have a party about it?
Can I say that your question is illogical?
Why?
Because this is politics and this is how things are done in politics. And you are saying, why are you doing politics? This is what it does. Now, I'm not saying it is right and I'm not saying it is wrong. For instance, I have a problem with, a 42-kilometer road has just been constructed. Do you get? Open the damn road. Open it. Let people use it. They will now lock it up.
No.
I say they want to go and cut tape.
They want to
but that's politics. Now, if you say, why are they doing that? They will tell you that when election time comes, and they say, we did this and we did this, they will say, it's a lie, it's a lie, That's why it's now become enshrined. It's not written that even governors, when they want to commission several projects, they have to bring the president or another prominent politician or another governor and make a lot of fanfare around it. So again, that's another industry. So why is there a lot of fanfare around someone decamping from one party to the other? I say again, politics. So let's understand the difference between politics and governance.
Anyway, still talking about politics and talking about the PDP. Now, I know that we're not at the bar yesterday, so I wanted us to talk about the fallout of what happened. We saw I don't even know what to call it, because at the end of the day, when you see a lot of these things, and you're like, these are grown people. They're not grown people like, I will call myself maybe a grown person, but these people are old men, fathers, some people's fathers and grandfathers, which I think are dancing a dance of shame. My words. Because you would wonder why people are tear gassing governors and very prominent people holding on to whatever it is. According to SR, is politics. So maybe I don't understand why they're doing what they're doing. But there was a lot of drama yesterday. Now, it's funny how one faction of the PDP is attributing the drama that is happening in the PDP to the fact that Nigeria wants a one-party state. Basically, accusing another party, the ruling party anyway, for causing the rancor in their own party because grown men do not know how to deal with themselves maturely, in my own books. Also, in fact, the factional national chairman went ahead to, in a press briefing, saying he was calling on the US president to save Nigeria's democracy. And I'm like, when did we start electing Nick? Okay, he's not elected though. Why are there so many Nick-on-poops in... Okay, I shouldn't say that.
No, you shouldn't.
But you really wonder people's level of IQ.
Yeah, you can say that.
Like,
you can wonder at IQ.
Are we even like, is this even, like, when you watch that video, I'm sure you've seen that video, like, is this even real?
It is. Exactly.
Y'all cannot sort yourselves out in your party.
There was a big protest in Nigeria about 5 years ago. And some people said that if the protest continued for 30 days, the United Nations will take over.
What is that conversation ever going to go?
And they kept on spreading that story, sending DMs and putting it out and making videos. Where is the
flag? Post the flag. Oh God! God! Y'all are just gullible in this
country. For a country where young people were saying that, now you know where they got it from. When they are old, the elderly are calling on another country that already has an agenda, to come into your country. And
but it's now the politics.
You're now calling them to come and save your. Now the person you are calling to save your democracy has been named in, the Epstein files. That's the person you are calling to save your democracy. I don't know when. You see, when they now come and treat you like slaves and second-hand,
you
be like, why? But no, you begged.
Respect yourselves.
You begged for it. You begged them to come and teach you.
The whole chairman of a party, the chairman of a whole party as big as PDP.
The sad thing about the PDP is that they have failed to realize that the party is dead. I'm sorry. I used to say we need strong opposition, but it's not this PDP. Hopefully the ADC will come together and they will have sense and they will build something strong. Hopefully. You see, with the air quotes.
Because the way it's going,
the PDP is going to self-implode. It's dead. You can see it. When they now have two strong parallel chairmen and panels and BOTs and EXCO, then you understand that they are gone. I'm telling you for real. In the space of one day, there are two different people claiming in fact, and that one that have they even paid for it because we had it's in someone's name.
Keep in mind that there's also the conversation now that on Saturday some people were expelled. Yesterday, another set of people were expelled.
Yesterday, the expelled people expelled the people that expelled them.
Yes, the already expelled people, or the allegedly expelled.
They were expelled by the concert. Sorry, the people that were in Ibadan.
Stop saying concerts.
Okay, by the party people in Ibadan. You can't tell me to stop saying party. It was a party.
Stop saying
By a party.
No.
Were the party people not in Ibadan?
Party.
Were the party people not in Ibadan? So, and the reason why I feel that they're not serious and why I don't think what they did in Ibadan makes sense is that it's not exactly to their own constitution. And again, the fact that they were flouting court orders, and the same people are now calling for someone to save them.
I think that court orders is even the least of their problems. Why I said so is because the minute INEC was not there, whether you're flouting a court order or not, everything is down the drain.
One of them came on TV to say that the constitution, we need to look into that, and did not insist on INEC being present. He said that INEC.
Are we joking now?
INEC could.
Are we joking?
Could
are we joking now?
So they're telling you that they don't need INEC.
Oh God.
So that's where we are.
So we don't need INEC to conduct elections anymore. That's where we'll get to that.
It's sad how the PDP has improved.
Anyway, Sha.
And I don't know how they want to come back.
We were in this country when some people were arguing that Abuja is Kiriko, Abuja is not. So I'm not even surprised anymore with the kind of things that people do. But before we leave that matter, there's something that popped in my head. I don't know why I didn't put it in the headlines though. As the convention, or according to Ezea, the party was going on in Ibadan on Saturday, there was another party. This is actually a proper party that was going on in Lagos, and this was Ayo Fayoshe, one of the people that were expelled, and all the people that were expelled were that this is 65th party. Now, it was his birthday, it was big party and all that. Now, one of the people that were invited was the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, and he was asked to speak. And in my own books, I think that he made a statement that was maybe a little distasteful. It was I won't say distasteful, maybe unnecessary, especially not at the person's party. The statement that he made, or a birthday statement he made, sounded like he did not like the person. And in my books, I'm like, if you really think this about this person, then why did you come to his party? However, shortly after that, a few hours after that, it was said that the aide of President Obasanjo had put out a message that Mr. Fayoshe had sent, thanking the former president of coming to his party. However, that thank you message was more disrespectful than a thank you. Let's just put it like that. Replying to the things that the president had said, or the former president had said at his birthday celebration.
Yeah, interesting conversation. I'm actually not interested, but since Dolupa has brought it to the bar,
oh yeah,
I am obliged to talk about it. Former military ruler Obasanjo would never stop being controversial. I think he thrives in it. I think he likes it. He loves it. Maybe since they started condemning his letter writing skills, he needs to look for other ways to
another
vent.
avenue. Okay.
There is no way in the world, nowhere, that you accept to be at someone's party only to go and sabotage the person and expect the person to just clap for you. There's no love lost between these two. They don't like themselves.
But also, you could now talk about why did Fayoshe to invite him.
There's no love lost between them, and it's evident in the chronological order of Obasanjo's presentation at Fayoshe's 65th birthday. Meanwhile, who does the 65th birthday itself? I thought landmarks were in 10 years and all of that.
You know why I will not complain anymore? I was saw a 71st birthday, huge birthday.
I saw one
71. So
I saw one this
after
year.
that one, nothing else.
So okay, so it's down to if you can afford it and if you feel like it. Alright, so 65th, back to it. I think Obasanjo would never stop being Obasanjo, and I think at his age, and the Omoluabi ethos, the things that he was trying to talk about, that you're trying to say someone should have, do you have it, sir? I'm just asking you, because if you did, you would not have done what you did to someone in front of his loved ones on his own day. On a day that it was being expelled, and you went into his party to now, what a double whammy. And the man has said he will respond to you, sir. So we'll wait for his response. We hope it will be more robust than the message that was
I honestly think that Mr. Fayoshe maybe did not need to reply the former president. Why my own opinion is because the fact that he's even that old, and I'm not saying, I just feel that there's a level of maybe a bit of, I would attribute some of these things to a bit of salinity, but it might just be. So you just leave it alone. Just leave it alone.
In my own advice, or if it was a PR thing, you have to respond fast before people assume that everything he said there is the truth.
Anyway, they did what they did, and good luck to both of them in my own books. Finally, anyway, for Lagos people, I don't know if we'll call this good news, but Lagos is set to have postponed the rehabilitation works on the Lekki-Ajah corridor. If you apply that road well, you know that it's not very great anymore. Maybe, but I remember that we were having this conversation last week, and I said, "Oh, it's December. It might not be a very good time to do such an extensive work of 8 months on that road at that time." But the truth is, there's never really a good time. But anyway, Lagos has postponed it. We don't know if they're going to be doing palliative work.
No, they said that they're going to continue with the work that they started. You know, they're already fixing the drainage and doing some expansions there and there. They'll do all those, pre-construction things, then stop in a few weeks' time, just before the festive season and all of that. But I personally feel that they shouldn't have cancelled it at all. They should have just concentrated more at the fringes, the outer part where they don't have that much traffic as the inner parts.
Okay.
Because 8 months will still be 8 months, and at times 8 months can be 10 months.
Yep. With this now, it's probably going to might be even be longer. Anyway, everything is not all doom and gloom, as the CBN has announced that Nigeria's external reserves has risen to about $46 billion, saying that that's the highest it has been in 7 years.
Indeed, this is the first time we're hearing that in almost a decade. You understand? Nigeria hit 46 point something, and we're hearing that the target is to go, as high as 50. What this does is that it also shows the level of confidence being reposed in the Nigerian economy by investors, especially foreign investors.
Yeah.
It also lays credence to the work that the government is doing and has done. And for political reasons, people don't want to talk about these things. But those policies have basically turned things around for Nigeria. From Moody to all of them changing Nigeria's ratings, and S&Ps, all of them are just saying Nigeria's ratings are on the up and up. And now the foreign reserve has hit this. It's a good time, to say we want more.
Yeah, so quickly before we get out, before we leave, let's talk a bit of sports. So today, for people that do not know, the CAF Awards, that's the Confederation of African Football Awards, I think it's happening today. It's going to be happening today in Morocco, and it's got a lot of people talking. Actually, there's a lot of conversation around it. One of the very interesting conversations there is Mr. Victor Osimhen, who is one of the final 3, is not going to be attending for the first time in a while because of his injuries. There's been talks of what his injury is, and sadly, we don't know yet, but looks like he got maybe a little injured. We're hoping that is not as bad. But anyway, the event is still going to be happening today, and we're going to be seeing who's going to be the new player of the year. It's come to Nigeria in the past 2 years. A part of me doesn't think that Osimhen is going to win it this year, but Anyway, it's between Victor Osimhen, Ashraf Hakimi, and Mohamed Salah.
Yeah, and definitely Osimhen will be third, in my opinion. Winner will be between Salah and Hakimi. I have a strong feeling that this time it will be Hakimi, so that the Moroccan journalists will not walk out in anger again.
They will have peace of mind.
And so speaking about Osimhen, his injury is not that serious. I think it's an hamstring or something. And he's also told people to chill, that he's really going to be back, early enough. And he's also talking AFCON and all of that.
So interesting. Also, the Women Player of the Year, there's a Nigerian also on that list, is Rasheedat Ajibade. I think this is going to be the first year we're not seeing Asisa Toshoala in like 7-8 years. It's
I'm not sure she was there last year.
Oh, she wasn't there last year. Yeah. It's beautiful. Maybe would I say it's a turn of events, but she definitely. I don't know if we're going to see anybody have that kind of long reign in a very long time.
We don't know too.
We don't know. But Rasheedat Ajibade is also one of the final three. There's Sana Sodi and Ghislaine Shabak on that as well. The Youth Player of the Year. I think we're also going to be looking at the Woman Goalkeeper of the Year as well. There's Nigerian there who was also, I think she was also one of the nominees for FIFA Best.
Yeah, she is.
Actually, Chiamaka Nadozie, she's doing fantastic. I don't think anybody else deserves it on this list.
I think she deserves to win, but all these awards at times.
Another very interesting one that Nigeria is involved in is the Women's Team of the Year. Of course, it's I don't see that not happening for the Super Falcons. I think that everybody knows that they basically are the most successful. We saw the feats that they did this year as well. So we definitely would. It's something to see and gist about later in the day. It's going to be later today, so we'll see talk about it. But before we leave all this matter of football, we know that one of the conversations a lot are having is the World Cup. Now, Jamaica's coach has now resigned after Jamaica missed out on the World Cup. Curacao has now become the smallest nation to ever qualify for the World Cup as well. There's a lot of
giant of Africa.
Why did I think that was going to come up? Anyway, there seems to be a lot more.
You see, you don't have
teams.
to be big to qualify for World Cup.
I think even Haiti. After over 50 years or something are qualified for the World Cup. There's a lot of new matchups we're seeing. We might not see the usual. We'll see some, but we might not see a lot of the usual big boys at the World Cup this year, even though it's expanded, which I think is the expansion that is making us also see a lot of these new people coming, which is I think is going to be interesting, really. I think it's going to be interesting. Anyway, UEFA has approved Barcelona's Camp Nou return in the Champions League.
I didn't even know they needed another approval.
Apparently they did. It was La Liga's approval.
I saw Messi's visit to the place, man. Beautiful.
Yeah. And finally, before we go, Roger Federer has now been elected to the International Tennis Hall of Fame.
Nobody deserves it better than him.
Yeah, the man definitely edged this. You know that there are quite a number of people that when you hear, especially tennis, there are 3 people that come to my mind. Even though supposed to sneak in another person, but I will just keep quiet. Anyway, on that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the Boom Bar. Be good and be safe out there.
Peace.